I fucking hate the tactical gun community. Not like the entire community really, but like there's this slice of it that I'm gonna talk about. It is typified by Trex arms. A few other people, like it's not just him. Like I would throw maybe even Warriors Poet Society into that a little bit. I find him the most tolerable of these people. Okay. Here's my bitch. Just because you like it on a range does not make it better for me while people are shooting at me in my real life. Say that again. Just because you like it on a range does not mean that it is good for me while people are shooting at me in my real life. Most of these people are LARPers. They're LARPers to an extent that, like, you fucking talk about me as being a LARPer because I run some Vietnam gear. That's mostly because I don't think I'm going to run my battle rattle ever. If I do end up running it, I'd like to go out with my fucking boots on like grandpa. It's might as well. Like, if I'm wearing a fucking gun belt with mags, like, I'm probably engaging Chinese paratroopers in the front lawn or some shit like that. That's a fantasy rig, right? My guns are rigged for real life use. They might be a little funny looking or whatever because I make them look weird because I like... Honestly, I've owned everything. Go look at my fucking videos and shit. I've owned every fucking gun you'd ever want to own. I like playing around. So sue me. My main bitch with these people is that they get in a little circle and they go in a circle jerk about some topic until they are ridiculous about it. This has its upsides. I think they definitely grind some gear to perfection. But at the same time, you are like fixing shit that didn't need to be fixed and reinventing shit that didn't need to be reinvented. I will give you that the more modern battle belts are probably a better option than the Alice belt. I'm running an Alice belt with a fucking homemade holster and a 1911 pouch on it because, like, it works just as good. And if I'm not going to run anything but a 1911, I like the style points. And every time I look at Trex Arms' gear, it just is like, it's really expensive. One thing you should get about really expensive gear is that most people don't fucking use it. I bought and played with really expensive gear, and I even used some really expensive gear hard. I put it to you that my Flux Raider is probably the one of those that has seen the most mileage ever, not to mention being heavily modified. I don't know, maybe there's some ones that are like being used by real people or whatever, but like the vast majority of people did not do what I did to that thing. I guess these people annoy me because they have this like air of superiority about them. Because I'm gonna beat you in a gunfight. That's Trex Arms in a nutshell. To me, that's the vibe that I get from all of the guys associated with him and all of the guys associated with any of these tactical dipshits. It's, oh yeah, well, I'm a gunfighter. Really? How many times have you been shot? How many people have you shot? Well, then shut the fuck up. Maybe that's because, I don't know, I'm a fucking trans woman and I'm more real deal than most people will ever be when it comes to that shit, at least. And it annoys me to see people faking it so bad. They have the cool by association syndrome. They do what they do to mimic their heroes in special operations. And it shows. And like, no criticism. I do a lot of what I do to mimic my heroes in special operations from the 1970s. They're just much cooler than your heroes. I'm just talking shit. But my point in that is basically you are copying them to a fault. I take a lot of my inspiration from the early Vietnam Special Forces shit because it's so bare bones. It's so reduced down to what it should be. Under the Obama and Bush administrations, special operations warfare in the United States has gotten to be, well, it's not realistic, really. Not for fighting big wars, and not for you in your own personal life. I'm not saying that I would never use nods and kit and whatever. There's definitely times I would use select bits of it, and nods especially would be something that I would pull out. But, like, you ought to get that, like, Trex Arms is just a nerd that likes playing with his toys. You can learn things from nerds that like playing with their toys. 100%. But you should get that it's not real. And that some of the shit is going to be stuff that you're going to learn lessons about in combat if you use it. His entire fucking appendix carry thing is one of those. I don't carry appendix not because it's uncomfortable or whatever, but I literally don't carry appendix because, okay, let's say we draw a gun 10,000 times. What is the likelihood that one of those times it goes off? Is it 0? Is it approaching 0? Well, with training maybe, but like, it's never 0. So I don't want my fucking holster and gun pointed at my fucking legs and dick. Like, that's just me. You can do you. But like John Wayne wore his fucking gun at 4 o'clock for a reason. John Browning, John Wayne, and fucking God himself want you to carry a gun at 4 o'clock. This is some of the shit that, like, I don't know. I'm just always going to have a difference of opinion from fucking Trex Arms. He doesn't like people that sound like fags. He and I would go round and round if we actually met. Mainly because, like, I'm sure he thinks he could kick my ass. Like, that's the thing most people don't get is, like, all of you, to some extent, anyone who's ever fucking heard me on the internet thinks they can kick my ass. In reality, I'm the immovable object that you could beat on for 3 hours straight, and I would ask you if you were done yet. I know this because I've had people that were professionals beat on me. You don't have what they had. Anyway, when I see these jackasses, that's what I see. It's the person that's going to go challenge me to a fucking fist fight or some run around the block and then have a fist fight thing, which I would do that too. You ought to get that I can catch my breath while you punch me. Most people ain't up to fight Ray Ray because Ray Ray's willing to fucking take a punch. That's something you ought to get. Not everybody is going to be you. Not everybody is going to be unwilling to get hurt. Some people can take a little bit more punishment than you even. And this is one of those things where, like, being a fucking giant, if you have weapons, I start using weapons or whatever. If you don't have weapons, I just hold my weapons and let you beat on me. Usually. It's been my philosophy my whole life. Most of the time when I hit people, if I hit them at all, it's one punch or dropping them on the ground or something like that. I really like picking a man up and dropping him on his ass on the ground. It's this, like, you sit there with your ass hurting and you think about things. And I get my chance to talk at you. And, you know, the combination of your ass hurting and me telling you how fucking stupid you are because you're about to die, people rethink their shit. Reality is that. Reality is that you're going to get fucking hit in this shit. And that when you're wearing all that shit on your head, that's not always necessarily a good thing. And, like, that's with all the tactical gear and shit, too. Like, less is more. Less is more on everything. If I don't have to wear it, I won't wear it. I could go on and on about that, but I think you get that, right? Like, the thing that weighs the least is nothing. Do more with less. Don't rely on kit and gear. That's the other thing I see when I see fucking Trex arms is it's like someone's trying to build an Iron Man suit out of fucking modern tactical equipment. Oh, guys, I'm gonna go build my fucking armor. Okay, I'll be right back. Yeah. I have a chest rig full of medical supplies, and I keep wanting to write something on the front of it that's like God's armor. It's not entirely true, but at the same time it is. Like, I get the point of wearing plates. Most people should get that they could take being shot a couple of times and live pretty easily. In fact, people have been doing that for hundreds of years. In fact, your armor doesn't protect that much of you. So, are you really wanting to make yourself slower and easier to shoot all the time to protect your heart? It's a trade-off. I'm not going to say, which way you should go or whatever. For me and my own personal shit, I think it's best not to make myself fucking stand out that much. Be like, oh, well, doesn't the trans woman thing do that? I don't know. I really, when I started doing this, I kind of did it for my own reasons, and as it went along, I was like, well, I'll blend in with the Antifa crowds. Like, this is 100% what you should get, too. It's like, I'll be the fucking one creeping through the crowd with a fucking, like, submachine gun under my coat, headed to go do whatever it was I was going to do anyway. Ignoring the fact that they fucking exist. I don't know. It really does annoy me, though, to see these fucking dipshits be most of the gun community now, according to the YouTube videos anyway. Like, there's a large percentage of the gun community that is these people, or that watch these people and want to be them. And there's some bits of that high-end kit that is nice. I'm not going to say it's not nice. I've had full high-end kit before, and Cry Precision makes nice shit. Geisley makes nice shit. Trigicon makes nice shit. Cool. I'm at this point, on most of those brands, you are paying for name. And I am not interested in paying extra money for name hardly ever. And that's these guys too. Like, they're the kind of guys that would drive a Ferrari. They were the kind of guys that would drive a Ferrari and not be able to shift it. Got me? Like, that's what I see every time I see these guys. At least, like, Trex arms can actually shoot. Unless you believe the whole fucking speeding up video bullshit, which I'm not going to get into. If you're like, oh man, you really have a fucking hate in your heart about Trex arms. Yeah, well, he did say in an Instagram post once that, you should, what was it? Don't speak like an effeminate little fag. Speak up like a man, or something like that. You can go look that. Google Lucas Trex arms fag. It will pop up. Basically, I hope he dies. I hope he gets cancer of the dick and dies painfully and slowly. He is the enemy. He is who I train to fight. You should get that. Every time I see him in his fucking videos, every time I see any of these tactical fucking wannabes, they are who I train to fight. I think it's who you should train to fight too. There's enough of them that like they're going to be kitted out, and the kit does make them more dangerous. And versus the average person, they're probably going to win a lot of gunfights. Like, they're definitely something you should be worried about. But half of the reason that I worry about these people is, why are you trying to buy capabilities? What kind of a pathetic piece of shit are you that you don't trust in the Baraka to rescue you, basically? Like, you don't trust God? I have a little bit of faith in God. And like, this is Lucas Botkin of Trex Arms runs a cult with his dad. You can search Botkin cult. Fuck them. Fuck them and their fake ass religion that abuses women. Go look at his sisters at all. Like, I don't know what his fucking dad did to those girls, but nothing good. Like, I think, honestly, any creepy religious cult has vibes of fucking pedo shit. I think I'm going to title this Trex Arms. Because, like, man, I really fucking hate that guy. I really fucking hate anyone associated with any of his shit. Every time I see it pop up on the internet, yeah, this is why we train. This is why we fight. People like him, with kit like that, are going to try to tell you what to do. Are you going to let the Lucas Botkin cult in the end of the world come down the street and tell you what to do? I'm not. I'm pretty much readying for the day that people like that think they're in charge of me. Don't support Trex Arms. Don't watch his shit. Don't buy his shit. Don't fucking talk about him at all, except to spread the message that he's a fag-hating piece of shit. Lucas, if you watch this, literally go fuck yourself to death with a dildo made of broken glass. I hope you die of dick cancer. This is one of those, like, everyone should feel this way about this person. The reasons that I just laid out to you, between the fucking anti-gay thing, which is dubious, you can feel whatever you want about that. It's the anti-gay thing mixed with the creepy fucking doomsday cult of death where your sisters look like they're fucking molested, dude. Fuck you. Fuck you to death. I kind of hope you starve to death in the end of the world, too. Anyway, I hope somebody got something out of this other than fucking hating Lucas of Trex Arms maybe as much as I do. Don't be a tactical douchebag. See you guys later.